Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving on towards the next presentation, and we have a next speaker, Mr. Vinay Vaishnav, Assistant Director, IT and Cybersecurity Division, Central Electricity Authority, Ministry of Power. Over to Mr. Vinay Vaishnav. Are you all set?
I will be thankful to the team for inviting me to such a event, and I will be presenting regarding the cybersecurity guidelines which he has framed for the utilities. I will be sharing the screen now. My screen is visible to. Hello.
Yeah.
And is it visible to all?
The screen is full screen, but not clear.
Your voice is not clear. Now voice is clear, ma'am. Hello.
Not really, actually.
Just it is not clear, my voice.
I think it's getting more worse. If you can just remove your headset and try it again.
Can you hear me now, ma'am?
We can hear you, but your voice is breaking.
Let me try once again.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, it's perfect now. Thank you.
Now it is clear, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Now it is clear, and ma'am, my screen is visible to all.
So the screen is visible, but again, your voice is fine, better compared to before. It's better now.
Okay, I am starting the presentation. If you have any issues, then please interrupt in between, so that I will try to make the things very simpler. It is audible now, ma'am?
Yes, it's audible, but you are not visible.
Now we will start with the applicability of the cybersecurity guidelines. CA has framed the cybersecurity guidelines in power sector. Actually, we are having not any guide, no, we have no any particular rules or regulation or guideline in the power sector. So Ministry of Power has thought of creating the guidelines and regulations for especially for power sector. So we are coming with the guidelines, and regulations are still in the drafting stage, and they will be notified very soon after these guidelines. Now the applicability part, the guidelines are applicable to all the responsible entities like system integrators, manufacturers, suppliers, vendors, OEMs, IT and hardware software OEMs, etc. And the date of from the date of issue only these guidelines came into the effect. I will touch the important points of the guidelines for each article. I will not touch all the articles which are there in the guidelines. I will touch only the important points which are there in guidelines. First, we will go to the Article 1 for cybersecurity policy. It is audible to all, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, it's audible.
Yeah. First, we will go to the cardinal principle.
Vinay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, ma'am. The guidelines first touches about the cardinal principle regarding isolation of IT and OT system, and we are there for some put some restriction on uploading and downloading of data, and establishing few firewalls and security channels for IT and OT communications. And we are saying to procure the equipment through trusted vendor source. Then we will come to the second part of the Article 1, that is we are going to cybersecurity culture through ISO 20001 control. And each responsible entity will have a cybersecurity policy for the necessary control and measures which will be in the cybersecurity policy. All the top level management, even including the board of directors, etc., will be included, and they will give the assigned of responsibility to CISOs. And they also give sufficient budget to carry out the R&D and develop technology in the responsible entity. Next is Article 2 for appointment of CISO. There will be the CISO and alternate CISO. CISO will have a team which will be well qualified and have a comprehensive understanding of risk management mitigation measures. And in this article, we have done ring fencing of services of CISO. Next, we will go to the first. I will again one thing more regarding the CISO qualifications. CISO qualification will be led by Quality Council of India. This will be laid down very soon. Next, we will go for the identification of CII. For a cybersecurity main is we have to determine which cyber asset is critical. Once the cyber asset is defined as it is critical, then this cyber threat will be taken care of. So each responsible entity will be aware of its IT and OT assets and their functionalities and their criticality. And to identify any equipment as a CII, NCIPC give a template, and accordingly the details has to be submitted in that template, and then that NCIPC declares any equipment as a CII. And the CISO of the responsible entity have the duty to periodically check the functioning of CII, and also if any changes occurs, then should inform to NCIPC accordingly. There is also a provision of periodically review of CIIs. Suppose once in a year, CISO will check that is there any change in infrastructure or architecture, then CII changes or not. Then we will go to electronic ESP, electronic security perimeter. Responsible entities will identify and document the electric ESP and all access points to the perimeters. ESP just like a border where we have to put all the critical system inside the ESP, and a vulnerability assessment of the electronic access point to the ESP should be done, and this should be done in every 6 months, or if any there is change of security architecture. We want to change any system in the ESP or any other thing we want to done in the ESP, we want to include some system in the ESP, then it has to be done after every security architecture changes. And it is duty of the CISO to identify all the critical, high and medium vulnerabilities, and their effective closure should take place. Then we will go for cybersecurity requirements. ISD headed by CISO. One information security division will be there for every responsible entity, and this will be headed by CISO, and it will perform 24/7 basis. What will it will do? We want that it should be onboarding of CSK, intrusion prevention system, detention system should be there for IT and OT system. It will maintain the firewall at least for 6 months. They can extend the period depend upon their requirement, but we were complaining, we want that it should maintain at least for 6 months. FAT and SAT test requirement should be done. They design a secure architecture for that, and they will comply with the direction of NLDC and RLDC as per the section 29(1). And routine audit and testing of security properties of the critical system should be done. Next, we will go to Article 6. This is cyber security risk assessment and mitigation plan. then every responsible entity should have a risk assessment and mitigation plan, in which we will define the metrics for assessing risk and risk assessment criteria. And this should be carried out at least once in a quarter. And for all these activities, CISO shall be responsible for assessing the risk and designing the metrics. Now we will go to the phasing out of the legacy system. So the life of the power system equipment is more than that of IT. Sorry. So it is the responsibility of the CISO that they have to find out which of the equipment are phased out, and you have to plan a SOP for safe and secure disposal. Until the particular product is not disposed, then cyber security of that equipment should be hardened and ensured through additional controls in consultation with the OEM. It's just like if any system is, it will take time to dispose it, and OEM should provide responsible entity along with the OEM should provide some additional controls till the system is disposed. Now we will go to the training part. Every responsible entity should design a training program. And in our cybersecurity guidelines, we have said that some features that should be added in the training program. If they want any additional features, they can add. But the minimum training program that should be added, we have mentioned that in the guidelines, which includes the hands-on SCADA operation at RLDC level, detecting cyber attacks on SCADA system, handling of risk involved in procurement of CO3 products, and implementation of ISO 27001 and IEC 62443. And NPTEL consultant CA will design a course for governing, it will be governing body for training and certification. And one special thing, all the O&M personnel managing IT and IT shall mandatory undergo course on cybersecurity from any of the institutes designated by CA within 90 days from the date of notification of CA guidelines. Now we will go to the Article 9 for cybersecurity chain risk management. CA will be launching the model contractual clause after some time, and it will be in this MCC model contractual clause. We will define a model clause contractual which would be added in every utility tender document. All ICT and service level agreement for critical system should be sourced only from trusted vendors. Trusted vendor criteria is listed under drafting stage, and it will be soon available for the public. If no trusted source is there, then we have to comply to the Ministry of Power's order, and which says that some security tests should be done for factory and site assessment tests, and cyber security conformance tests are to be carried out in the designated lab as per the MOP order number 8 June order. Now the cyber security incident report and response plan. The responsible entity should report all the incidents classified as reportable events, and they also do some root cause analysis, corrective action plan, so as to ensure any reoccurrence of such event can be managed with ease. Information security division of our responsible entity shall monitor and report details of every event, handle cyber security event incident strictly as per the CCMP. Plan to test it annually through mock drills. Mock drills would be there to check the cyber security accidents, and compile details of each incident detection, incident handling, gleaning from incident and damage claims made, if any, shall be reported to the CERT team. Now we will go to the cyber crisis management plan. CISO, along with the board of directors, will submit a CCMP, cyber crisis management plan, to sectorial CERTs and to CERT team. And once it is get approved by board of directors for implementation, it should be reviewed annually. CISO will be accountable for enforcement of CCMP during the cyber crisis. Suppose a cyber crisis happens, then CISO will be the responsible person who will declare any incident as a cyber incident, and accordingly what steps should be taken, that will be defined in the CCMP, and he have to follow the steps that are defined in the CCMP. Now we will go to the sabotage reporting. CISO responsibility should have a procedure for identifying and reporting of sabotage in the cybersecurity policy. They will draft a policy and in that will define the identify reporting of sabotage. Detailed reports will be submitted in 24 hours of occurrence. Custody of all reports as well as visual forensic reports of affected cyber assets, intrusion detection system, SIMs, etc. shall preserve at least for 90 days and shall make them available as and when they call for investigation by the concerned agencies. We want it at least for 90 days and they can keep as much time they can. Now we will go to the cyber security testing of cyber assets. Regular software updates and patches, vulnerability management, penetration testing, secure configuration, supplementary securing controls, and maintenance of certificates will be done. Cyber assets procure shall conform to the prototype test. All IDs are tested as per the MOP order 8 June order. Any incidents of cyber security breach shall be carried out at the lab designated by MOP. Now we go for the audit. Implementation of ISMS for all the critical systems. Audit shall be done in every 6 months by certain empaneled OT auditors as well as ITs auditors. All the critical and high vulnerability within a period of 1 month and medium as well as low conformity before the next audit. Audit shall be as per the ISO 20001 along with sector specific standards and other guidance issued by appropriate authority.
Yes, Vinay, you're audible. Thank you so much.
Yes, if any queries are there, then please.
Whatever questions we have received so far, we're gonna send it to you on your